Yeah, so here's what they said.
You think I'm gonna cater just to black people just to get torn down by black people? It's gonna be even more white people next year. And Spanish and the Filipinos, of course. Like, I'm done.
And we're gonna put it in their words, so we're not seeming like we're butchering anything. What the EYL guy said and what started this whole controversy and is causing flames from all over the black capitalism universe or whatever.
Just all corners of black Twitter. That, I don't know if they call it that anymore, but basically the black corner of social media.
Whenever something like this happens, I just imagine a bunch of non-black people on the web like, this is interesting. The black guys are arguing. Just like,
I know. What are they arguing about? Like the neighbor looking over the fence. What's going on over here? The cops stop you and you have to talk with your dad? What's that about? That was one of those moments to me where they were just flabbergasted. What? That happens to black people?
Look, honey. Just like on the news. What are they mad about today? What are they mad about today? Yeah, okay. Anyway, all right, so we got this up. This is Earn Your Leisure's Crash Out. Some people are calling it Crash Out or whatever you want to call it. This is coming from Professor Black Truth, but just for sake of video, we didn't include the little beginning part by him. Shout out to him, though, keeping things real black. So, okay. We can talk about him too later if you want. But
that sounds like what they said back in the 70s. Keeping it real black.
Keeping it real what? Real black.
Black.
All right, so okay, let me count down this. So yeah, this is Earn Your Leisure, Talking Noise before the controversy started and starting their current controversy, and we're gonna start playing this one starting right now.
Like this every single week in Atlanta. You're an idiot for saying that. You never. There's no event in the world like that. And like I said, this is coming from people that actually are qualified to speak. Somebody like Mike Novogratz, somebody like John Morgan, somebody like Louis Carr, who's seeing the event, who's seeing 30,000 people, let alone 30,000. But I'm not even on the black thing no more. I never was on the black. Not a black event. Because I seen somebody else that said that like it was white people. Yeah. They're qualified to be there. Like, what do you mean? Like, you think I'm gonna cater just to black people just to get torn down by black people? It's gonna be even more white people next year. And Spanish and the Filipinos, of course. Like, I'm done. It's been real. Yeah. Well, for what? The only thing you're gonna do is criticize it and tear it down. And not pay and want to get it for free anyway.
Oh man,
Rashad. If black people built this, we can't turn our backs on black people.
Is that sarcasm?
No, I'm never. But I'm saying it's all inclusive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyway, you want to pause it?
Yeah, that's enough. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the comment that got him flamed. So you know how this all started, though. That was an original impetus for this, right? You know what happened. So they so before he went to this point, so this is the stage 2. This is DEFCON 3 or whatever you want to say. This is there was an earlier moment. So basically, maybe we'll show it, or maybe James, you'll find it. But he was actually Bilal was actually, is it Bilal? Is it, or was that who's it? The gentleman that was talking there. I apologize. I want to make it sure I say it right.
Rashad, right?
Rashad, yeah, thank you. He was on the Breakfast Club, and they were just saying, hey, we're bringing 30,000 people to Atlanta. This is gonna be a big event. And then Charlemagne doing what he do, so was Atlanta done anything for you? This and that. And Rashad said, no, Atlanta, they need to do more for us. We're bringing all this economic power and all that. So that was shots fired. Basically Atlanta ain't doing crap. It's like, he had mentioned, Essence Fest, right? So look at Essence Fest. They know they this a big thing, 4th of July weekend. They know it brings a lot of economic viability to the city. So, we want the same from Atlanta for Invest Fest because we bring 30,000 people. Then shots fired. Then the mayor of Atlanta, Andre Diggins, who I know a little bit, he went to Georgia Tech. I know him in passing and stuff and seeing it. Now he's the mayor of Atlanta. He pretty much shot back and is like, well, no, this is y'all not to be thanking us. I mean, you know, what are y'all bringing to this city in so many words? And it's like this is something we do all the time and all that. So anyway, so that's kind of where it started. This is before they even had InvestFest. Then after InvestFest ended, you know, there've been, you know, just people complaining about it, just, you know, and all the things that it is and stuff like that. And then this came up again. And so now I think you know, Rashad got his feelings and said what he said with his chest. And that's when the everybody came out the woodwork, man. Yeah, everybody got opinion about what he just said. So I said, well, we got opinions too. So let's get on this call. So I would just say this as someone who went to InvestFest, I think, you know, it is what it is, man. I mean, I knew what I was going into it. So I actually went and had a camera. And so maybe James will have a point too on my channel where I went and basically, you know, I wasn't looking to learn things from people. You know, I was more like, hey, can I build content? Can I make a network? And so I roamed the halls. I didn't really listen to any of the main stage stuff, anything, you know, because it was just celebrities just talking. I was like, what they can do for me. I heard some of the sessions may have been good if you go to like individual, like, you know, breakout rooms. There could be, you know, some impactful stuff. But really, I just went to showroom, just talked to different people and got videos. I've been told, now I did that 3 years ago, and I was one of the few people. I didn't see anybody else, maybe one or other two people. And out of, at that time, maybe about 15,000, 20 people had an actual camera guy following them around. Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, I thought there were going to be more people. I'm told that it's exploded since then. Like everybody got a camera, everybody making content, be on my videos, everybody got something they want to sell. And it's like, who's the customer here?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
It's like, if everybody's selling something, then what do you do? Well, you know, I sell book and I'm a realtor. Plus I got this side, I got this business, you know, so let's talk. It's like, but there's no focus. It's all kind of like all over the place, which, you know, I get, you know, everybody's trying to, you know, get a hustle on. So anyway, that was impressive. And then there was some indications of like, you know, hey, you know, come in for, you know, it's like a meat market, right? You know, you got quote unquote rich man, quote unquote, you know, single women looking for rich man.
People like knocking on the speed dating.
Yeah, that whole thing. So it's like all these things are conflating at once, and it can be perceived as that. Are you really getting the value, you know, to help you in your career from a financial standpoint? And that's debatable. You know, I think that's debatable. So yeah, man, as someone who went, I can kind of understand some of the backlash toward it. If you kind of go in not understanding, you know, is this what you're really trying to get out of it? You know, so what are you looking for out of this type of event? So anyway, so yeah. So that's kind of where that came. And then I think when the backlash came on the internet, that's when Rashad said what he said. And then obviously you got a lot of pushback to that. So, I mean, Mr. Benja, what's your perception? Is it a black thing?
As politely as I can say this, Rashad's a fool. And I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to call names or anything, and I don't like doing that. But when I'm looking at what's happening and what he did and the way that it came out, this reminds me of, you know, when I was younger, you know, where you'd have black people yelling, you know, well, if selling out means, you know, everybody buys all your stuff, then yeah, I'm a sellout. And it's like, that's not what we're talking about. Shut up. We want you to get rid of all your product properly. We don't want you to quote unquote sell out. And I think he may be missing this key ingredient that a lot of people don't get, where it's like, yeah, no matter what happens, you stay true to the roots and the people who built you up, and you don't start talking bad about the community. The community does understand. And once you start playing in sellout waters, which exactly what he sounded like he was doing, he's like, you know, black people, this is not black event. It's like, dude, if you went to the Invest Fest or you're on the forums or anything, and you're talking to a non-black person, let's say, you know, some average white person, it's not like he's going to say, you know what, this is not a black event. It's just, who are you kidding? Who are you fooling? Who are you talking to? And I don't know, maybe in his head, I think he's just going down this path that I've seen. It's been unfortunate in a lot of Black people I've seen, where you have a moment where you can learn something, where you can adjust and correct. And right now, with the videos that have been playing afterwards, the statements they've made, it's not like they're doubling down. They're just trying to dance out of the controversy safely. And I'm like, own up to it. If you were confused, get some people on there who aren't confused to talk to you and say, well, hey, how did we mess up? What does this actually mean? How can I grow and still, you know, but that's not the case. He's just gonna he's been wounded, man, and his hurt came out somehow. Even Dr. Boyce Watkins, he came out talking like, "Hey, I'm sorry, guys, y'all messed up. This is
the voice walk is out here giving them. I mean, I get it, man. Sometimes Black entrepreneurs, you can kind of feel a certain way about, it be your own people, right? That kind of perception around things. But I agree, man. He just got in his feelings, about that too much. It was like, I mean, look, it is what it is, man. People gonna criticize you. And so you just have to kind of own up there and say, hey, we'll just do better, but it's tough, right? Because in his mind, he's feel like he's helping people. But I think, and shout out to FD Signifier. I mean, Mr. Benja's doppelganger, big time, big time internet influencer. He's on that political, one of those Black conscious brothers, this thinking, a thought leader, if you will. And he kind of broke it down. He just said, these, how in college, I like what he said perception was. He said, how in college you had these guys that were like super hotep or super Black conscious, and they were just like, brother, you shouldn't be drinking that water because it's against the man and all that, right? And they were like super knowledgeable, but some of it was right, but they were just super annoying. And you're like, okay, bro, leave me alone, right? He said finance bros are similar in the Black community. It was like, hey man, we gotta get this hustle on, man. We're gonna be financial free. Let's do this. And it's like, you may be right, but you can be annoying. And I think that's where Earn Your Leisure, they're kind of under that grate where it's like, we could do this together, let's build this community. But then it's like, okay, just that surface layer of it's almost like surface layer, like, hey, are we really doing this community, or are you just trying to make yourself rich? He made a
because
point.
I hesitate to call them right, but go ahead.
Yeah, but he also made a good point. He said, like, I'd rather you just be like 50 Cent. 50 Cent never said he was helping the Black community. He said, I'm just getting rich. He not say I'm buy this vitamin water because we're gonna help the community. We're gonna do all this. Nah, just get this money, dog. He never said anything about building his community and all this other stuff. And he felt like it can be somewhat disingenuous. And I sometimes agree to that. I mean, look, I always think Blackness is like a two-sided coin, right? Definitely, you are who you are, so you just can't fake the funk when you. I mean, I have meetings all the time with all types of people, right? And I am who I am. I may mention it a few times, and the people bring it up, I'll go down that rabbit hole, but I don't lead with it, right? And I think maybe to my detriment. Maybe during 2020, I probably could have leaned in really hard, right? Some of them like some of my other co-founders did, and they took it to the moon. But then now we're seeing the other side of this, where a lot of them are hurting because it's just they went so all in, like, hey, this is what we're doing for the community, da 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 da. And then when those dollars got taken away because we're in a new political environment, then they're hurting a little bit, right? So I think
Wait, I mean, just like you talking about Doge level stuff? What do you?
Well, I'm just like the DEI. Like if they were like going out there and say, "Hey, invest in us," back in 2020, right when every Black person was getting love, right, for whatever reason, and hey, get here, you can do this. We'll give you dollars, investment dollars. I saw that flip the other side, where a lot of those commitments and promises to invest or to purchase your products got taken away. And they were kind of, I mean, literally one of my co-founder buddies, he told me, he said he lost 90% of his revenue overnight because of that, those promises that were made, in the height of, awareness of what it meant to be a Black entrepreneur. So anyway, I say that to someone who knows about this personally and can kind of see and understand some of this, but at the same time, the way he kind of mentioned it is like, no, you still, the majority of your people are that are your audience, or your what they call your ideal customer profile, ICP, or Black people. And that's who you cater to, but you just need to make a better product and not scam them. And that's the issue. And then saying that you never been for Black folks is disingenuous, because that's not the case. So don't say that. And the fact that he said, and then the only reason, let's be honest, the only reason why, these other artists mess with them, because it's if that's the audience they want to go after. Just like Tyler Perry, reason why he has stuff on Netflix or Amazon is because they want access to a Black audience, right? And they say, hey, you create content, so we don't understand that content, so we'll just buy you or give you money, and you bring them to us. Just like Earn Your Leisure, you get 30,000 Black folks. I'm Morgan and Morgan, John Morgan, right? Big time lawyer guy. I need to have more Black cases, right? So let me go ahead and talk to these guys. I mean, it's just economics 101.
It's difficult, and I think unless you're Black trying to make it in America, it's hard to understand what this. And yes, I mean, and this, a lot of immigrants don't get this either. Where this little dance that we have to do, or that's put in front of us as a choice. It's like, no, it's not just go out and succeed. You have to, because there's this razor thin area of being only confined to the Black audience, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you get stuck in the zone. I don't know how to articulate that properly without sounding like a jackass, but you get stuck in the zone on one end where you're all Black, and then on the other side where you're obviously trying to sell out. And very few people have run that line successfully. Mm-hmm. You can look at Bill Cosby. Back in the day, he remained true, but it was like, hey, listen, I'm not. The Cosby Show was about the Cosby Show. Black family. We're doing this, and it's like, okay, wow, he didn't sell out.
I mean, but Jordan, he may some other things out.
Yeah, which is morals, obvious. Well, hold on now. I don't want this to detract from what I'm trying to say.
I get you. I mean, it may not have been the most interesting. It's the interesting.
Jordan Peele. How's that? That's a better one. Jordan Peele, staying on the Black side of things, not compromising, but they used to call it crossing over. I don't know what they call it now. Breaking through. I've heard breakthrough being used, where you break through to a white audience. Some of your rappers like, Outkast, let's use them. They always remain true to their Black roots. A lot of the music was purchased by white people, but you can tell that they were staying within their lane of Black artists and artistry. That's all I'm saying. It's this fine line, and you could tell once the money started looking right from all of these non-Black people. Rashad and Ian and all these other guys were like, yo, there's a lot of money if we're not just Black, if we're inclusive, and it starts to get fuzzy. And that's when he started falling on the other line. I mean, dude said, I don't even have to go through it again, but I was never on the Black thing. It's not a Black event. GTFOH. That just comes off wrong, even if I know what you're trying to say.
I agree. So, yeah. So anyway, it's one of those things that, it's just unfortunate. So it looks like he's trying to back away from some of that a little bit. And, so, I mean, look, I mean, it happens to all brands, if you get too far off the brand, we talked about this, the brand extender, right? How many brands can be extended beyond the initial approach, right? We said Snoop has able to extend his brand into all these different markets, right? He can go from doing porn, I guess, to doing gospel. It's like in a cookbook, so it's like crazy. But then maybe Earn Your Leisure cannot bust out of that, because they've been great, draped into. I mean, they've been slowly trying to move out of that, because you see some of their guests like Morgan and Morgan and stuff. But let's be honest, it's been, mostly, Black celebrities and, Black topics and stuff. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this, man. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's vastly diminished, in the next couple of years.
Yeah. This reminded me of those. Man, I'm telling you, folks, man, this has been a weird thing that's just been in American society that is hard to. It's hard to kind of wrap your head around unless you've been in there fighting it and trying to understand it. And yeah, man, once you start seeing the factions come out and people arguing for this side or that side, it's like, oh, okay. And I remember I was in an argument with some people like, hey, we should do this, we should do that. And one of my friends jumped up and like pointed a finger at me and was like, you're just one of those all or nothing blacks. And I was like, what? What's an all or nothing black? And why am I that? He's like, if it's not black, you don't like it. No, I didn't say that, but you can't, there's a certain part of the roots you just can't cut off and say, I'm free now. What are you free from? What are you talking about? So we got into this big argument. And that was the first time it had happened to me where I actually had to consciously think, like, am I holding us back? Or am I actually trying to grow? And he was like, you're holding us back. And, he's gone. He's on the other side. Nobody likes him anymore. But it did make me question things. I don't know. I suppose you've been through stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So but like I said, I'm more. I guess I'm just not as. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to these type of black conversations, man. I'm like, my wife calls me maybe a little too plain spoken when it comes to it's like, I'll talk about you want me to talk about, but for the most part, I leave it alone and just kind of lock in on, what I'm trying to achieve, man, because it's like almost like a distraction. It's like, how's this achieving my objective? I don't believe in side quests. That's kind of my philosophy now. It really has always been that way, somewhat when I think about my life and everything. So.
And I quote, you think I'm gonna just cater to black people just to get torn down by black people? You out of your mind. It's going to be even more white people next year, and Spanish, and the Filipinos. Of course, I'm done. It's been real. Sorry, I just had to quote him again.
The way you say that, yeah, it's interesting. So, Mr. Benja, man, so yeah, that was an interesting topic. Do you want to end it here, or you want to go to the next one, or how you going to do it?
I want to know what the people think, because I'm not sure who runs by these, and let us know what you think about this whole debacle. I think they've done brand damage that's irreparable until they stop, really reconnect with people, try to fix it. Right now, they've on this little apology tour that's not really an apology, the non-apology tour. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And I'm like, and they're bringing on guests like, hey, listen, you know what we're trying to do, right? And they're like, yeah. And they're backing them up. So I guess they're just trying to flood with content right now that's like, we're still black. We're still black. Don't mind what I said last week. I was on drugs or something. So I want to know what the people think. Good mood, bad mood. Do you even care? Have they always been like this, or did they change? I don't know. I don't follow them like that because I'm not interested in, their courses like, the Forex trading and get fast money by investing in Dubai. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know comments.
Yeah. Do you want to just keep moving? Just talk about this topic real quick and before we end it out.
Yeah. You can go ahead and end this out so we can make it one full clip.
Okay. Yeah. So, hey, everyone. Thank you for listening. This is what we do. We talk about business. This is the business aspect, internet culture too. So this is part of culture. So yeah. So it's culture watching. It's a show. It is watching culture. It's a show. So this is what we do, guys. Show versus business. We talk about all these different things. So look, if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and comment at Show versus Business on X, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram. This us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit us on our website, Show versus Business, to learn more. Hey, any comments, ideas about content you want us to react to, just let us know below. All right, Mr. Benja, have a good one.
Peace. and stay black.